Hey everyone, welcome to another 3rd edition Batman Miniatures game battle report from Discourse Miniatures. Today we're going to see the Jared Leto Joker crew face off against the Dark Knight Rises Bane crew. So today, Jared Leto has escaped with Harley Quinn from Belle Reve and taken the the Captain Boomerang with him. And it looks like Amanda Waller has hired the mercenary known only as Bane with a single snitch to take down Harley Quinn, Joker, and Captain Boomerang, whatever the cost. So if we look at my list first, I'll be playing the Jared Leto crew. I will have the yellow suspect markers. I've taken a sort of unusual list for the Joker, so I'm trying to take advantage of Jared Leto's sort of ability to deal a lot of physical damage. So I've brought in Harley Quinn, who's got a lot of mobility and a big bat and a really nice gun, and Captain Boomerang as well, just because he's sort of thematic. He fits in the same DC universe, so I figured I'd try him out with this list. Taking the Grin Twins as well because they're just too efficient not to take with Jared Leto. I'm trying out the Goat-Headed Priest. I don't think he's super competitive, but I think he can be a lot of fun. So I'm going to see how he works in a smaller sort of crew like this. And of course, Ep.6 to be a bodyguard. In terms of the equipment bonuses, I have equipped Mr. Grin with a white Grin. This is the one that's in the sort of blue suit here and armed with the brass knuckles. He has clown paint, which will give him the distractibility, as well as neurotoxin drugs, which will give him fast and dodge. So that's going to be pretty relevant against the Soldiers of Fortune, I think. And apart from that, I have given Ep.6 clown paint as well that he'll be able to distract. So I'm really interested in seeing how this functions. The deck is a little bit different. I have a link below in the card that will link to a sort of Joker deck building guide. And I've kind of broken a lot of rules here to just sort of try out some cards that I wouldn't otherwise take. And in a link in the description will show you the lists and cards that we both have taken. Next up, we have the Bane crew here. So, Glenn, if you want to tell us a little bit about the Bane crew.
Yeah, so I've brought, very similar to the previous Bane crew that I ran.
Mm-hmm.
It's Bane Bird, bunch of guys. I've invested heavily in Barsad, who is eating up half of my funding with night vision goggles and his assault rifle. And I've decided to bring Deadshot.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll be able to shoot a bit better than the last one, which was against the Birds of Prey. And, everyone had Acrobat, so...
Less people have Acrobat this time.
Yes.
So, yeah, without further ado then, let's go into round one. Okay guys, so we've just set up the board now and done our deployment. We have received the dual deployment, which if you see here basically means that we have to sort of set up in the corners. There's also a marker, which is marked by that sort of clear plastic. Forgive the lack of paint on it, I didn't expect to need it. There's barrels here that denote the sort of markers. Only our free agents can move within 4 inches of those markers or be deployed within them. So that means that Deadshot here for the Soldiers of Fortune is going to have a really easy time of not getting into melee because no one can get close to him except for Captain Boomerang on my side. In terms of the event, we have Gotham in Flames. This there's a lot of text here, but basically what it means is there is a fire marker, which will be represented by this Joker gas marker. That's going to move around the map. The person who doesn't have initiative will choose a direction, roll 2d6, and it moves in that direction after the first round. And basically, if you end your turn within 4 inches of that marker, you get set on fire. Also, it acts like a street lamp, so it will illuminate anybody, basically to reflect the fact that the game board is on fire, which is a lot of fun. I have deployed in a sort of kind of clump, trying to cling to as much cover as I possibly can. You can see in my second deployment, though, where I've deployed Jared Leto, I just kind of gave up and figured I'm going to get shot at by some of those guns, so I may as well just let it happen. Yeah, in terms of the deployment then, I've just kind of clumped up like this. I'm hoping to sort of be able to get into contact with some sewer markers to sort of close the gap. I've got a very aggressive, very melee-oriented sort of, or short-ranged kind of list. So I want to get up close with Bane as much as possible, although I think he's going to make it pretty hard. Because I've got a lot of game board to get across with us being on the corners.
Are you really sure you want to get into melee range of Bane?
Yeah, I can take him. It's no problem at all. Jared Leto's got a stick. Okay, so, yeah, so how have you deployed here then?
I've deployed my 2 shooters up on a rooftop and everyone else in a clump because that event marker really does limit you from
from getting
moving
in close.
Yeah. Oh, it does mean that this sewer marker beside Deadshot is off limits to basically anyone but Captain Boomerang.
Yep, so that's going to be a big problem. And Barsad with his night vision goggles, and then Deadshot, of course, with his night vision goggles as well, mean that this entire board is basically illuminated for your main shooters. So I'm going to have a really hard time getting across here, I think. This might be a bit of a bloodbath, but we'll see. We're going to roll for initiative and go into round 1. Okay, and in terms of Audacity markers, I have placed one on Joker, I have given one to Captain Boomerang, and I have given one to Harley Quinn, and then I'm leaving the other one up for Chaos Agent. Important to note that Jared Leto Joker unfortunately doesn't have Trickster, so he has to declare whether or not he wants an Audacity marker at the beginning. And who have you given your Audacity markers to?
I've given mine to Bane, Deadshot, Barsad, and Coachella.
Okay, Coachella being the wee man with a knife there. Yep. Okay, no problem at all. Right, so let's get into the first activation then. My original thought was to actually activate Goat-Headed Priest to use his grappling hook, which I forgot to mention, and swing up to the top of this building and open fire on this massive clump. I would have got about 5 hits, 2 rate of fire, 2 blood to every single person there. Unfortunately, I have anger management, so I would have had to shoot my own guys. Basically, his rule is that he has to shoot the closest model. So that was super devastating. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Harley Quinn. Okay, and I'm going to move her 13 inches. So I'm just gonna just come back with that now. Okay, so she's moved from there all the way up to here, and then I'm going to get her to move further 13. She's gonna move basically to hide behind here, this little blue kiosk there, to hopefully give her a little bit of protection from the enemy rifles. And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to play a card. I'm going to play the Joker meter, which will put it beside the active model. So basically, if anyone rolls 2 1s within 4 inches of Harley, that will go off. Okay, and who are you going to activate then?
I'm going to activate Deadshot and I'm going to shoot the Joker with an assault rifle.
Okay.
He's out of medium range, but I don't actually think he has cover from Deadshot.
Let's double check that because I am almost 100% certain that he probably has cover. 1 second. All right, so we've double checked. There is no cover. So that's pretty frightening. You've got night vision. You're outside of your range, so just knock off your strength die. Go ahead then.
Yep. 3 ups.
Yep, you've activated your special.
Yep.
That's 1, 2, 3 hits. How much blood is that?
That is 6 blood and 3 stun.
Do you know what? I think Thug 6 is going to activate his bodyguard. He's going to take an effort, and he's going to die. He's going to take that damage instead. All right, then, and for my next activation, I'm going to activate the Grin Twin in black. He's the one armed with a knife, and he's dressed in the red suit. We've already pre-measured this, so he's able to move 4 inches here, and then here. So he kind of jumped over the bonnet there, which is just within 1 inch. So he's able to move over that freely. And then he's going to play a suspect marker. And he's actually going to play a dirty fish. Like so. That's going to be active now then. Yeah, so who are you going to activate now?
I'm going to activate Coachella and do something very silly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run. He's got a 12-inch move because of Tireless.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go to here,
mm-hmm.
which puts him within 4 inches of the fire and the center of the board.
Yeah.
I am going to set him on fire, because unfortunately. And I'm going to play Free for All, which scores in the recount phase and just requires me to have more models on fire this turn than you do.
Okay, more models at the center of the board. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
that's okay.
On fire.
So the deployment may have screwed me, but the event hopefully can help me. Mm-hmm. Fire burns. Okay, and then for my activation, I'm just going to spend the pass marker that I got because my bodyguard, Thug 6, died. I'm just going to spend that now. There's no real good movement for me. So who are you going to activate then?
I'm going to activate the Hatchet Man.
Okay.
And he's got a 10-inch move.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just move behind this car.
Sure.
So he can get at Harley next turn, yeah?
Yep, fair.
Yeah, she doesn't stand a chance against a man with a hatchet.
Definitely not.
And I'll put down a suspect marker there. I think that's just over 4 inches away from the other one.
Okay, excellent. Sure, that's no problem at all. Okay, let me have a think about my activation. For my activation, I'm going to activate Jared Leto, and he's going to move forward 8 inches to basically around this car. Like so. And then he's going to play a card. He's going to play Bite the Dust, which is basically a Joker teeth. So we're going to roll to see for how long it lasts. 6. Whoa, not a great counter for me. I didn't really want it to last for 6 rounds. Oh, I forgot to put it down.
At this point, it doesn't matter. It's always going to go off.
Yeah.
You have to hit somebody to score it, though.
Yeah, exactly. So it's now in play. For 6 inches or for six activations. All right. Do you know who you're going to go with?
I think I will go for Bird, and
Bird?
I'll just move him.
Sure.
A suspect marker, maybe.
Okay. So where's Bird moving to then?
Bird's just going to move roughly towards the center here. Back this guy up. No range to put down a suspect.
Sure. All right. I'm just gonna roll. My Joker teeth move 3 inches, which is going to be as the crow flies. So yeah, basically they're gonna move up to the base there and go down 1. Okay, then for my activation, I'm going to activate the goat-headed priest, who is hiding here, and he's going to activate his grappling hook, which I sort of forgot to mention previously. He is sort of strategically forgot to mention during the deployment, and I'm going to, he's going to activate that, and we have pre-measured this, so he's able to zip all the way over to here. What that will do is that will put him within 4 inches of the fire marker, which means he will be set on fire if he survives to the end of the round. But that's okay because he's going to pop down a suspect marker with his free inspire action, which will allow me to score Let Them In on the Joke, which is place a suspect marker within 4 inches of an enemy model. And then we're both going to have to discard a card. But before we discard a card, or no, we should do it now, and then we'll go into activations, or into the actual combat, because I'm going to shoot at Coachello. I would prefer, I think, to shoot at these 2 guys, because I'm going to have a template weapon with rate of fire too, but unfortunately, I have to, with anger management, I have to shoot at the closest model, and we've measured it, it is Coachello.
How many suspect markers do you have down? 3?
I have 3 down, yeah.
How many activations do you have left?
I have 1, 2, 3. Or no, 2 activations left.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's go into these rolls first of all. So first we're just going to discard. Let's see what this is. Search and destroy. And then do you want to choose one of my cards here as well? There's 2 and there's a 3rd one. So do you want to pick one? What is it?
Left Dance.
Oh, I need that for the next round. Very sad. Okay, that's no problem at all. All right, so I'm going to roll now. Unfortunately, only Coachello's under the template because they are... So how it works, basically, for those actually who don't know. With a rate of fire 2 template weapon, it just means I go, my first attack is this template, that's going to roll, and then my second attack is this template. So even though I've moved and I don't have assault, I'm still only rolling a single die. I'm not rolling the strength die that you would traditionally roll under a template weapon. And I'm just going to roll 2 dice then. And I'm trying to beat 3 ups. Yeah, so that is 4 blood.
4 blood.
Yep, because my gun deals 2 blood with every shot. Okay, and then I'm just going to roll my die to see how far it goes. It goes up a full 6 inches. So, let me just, it's going to move up. Past. Yep, so it moves up the 4 inches there. Whether or not it takes a -4 to its movement for moving up, I'm not sure, to be perfectly frank. So it's just going to move up. It's going to move across the board. And are you playing a? Are you playing a card?
Yes, I played. I thought I played a goal offensive, which is at the end of the turn I have to have more friendly models with veteran trait in play than you have suspect markers.
All right, then who are you going to activate?
Bane.
Sure.
And he has a 10-inch move, so that'll move him to about here.
Sure.
Putting him basically meaning next round he'll be able to close with Harley.
Sure.
And I'm going to play Hardpoint to remove this.
Yeah.
And give Bane a Venom dose.
Okay, you're playing that with a
as a resource.
As a resource, sure, no problem.
And before he moved, he gave a kill them order to this guy.
Okay, sure.
And then Bane is going to put down a suspect marker here, which is within 8 inches, but out of line of sight of Harley.
Sure.
So
you can only... Oh, yeah, sure.
I score.
Black Ops. Yeah. Sure. Yep, which is the condition, of course, being that you need to place a suspect marker out of line of sight of any other enemy model.
Yep.
Does it have to be every other model, or is it just one?
Just one, I believe.
Okay, because goat-headed priest can see that.
Yeah. If it had to be out of range of like...
Or out of line of sight.
Out of line of sight of like everyone, it would probably be near unscoreable.
Sure. Okay, that's...
Yeah, an enemy model.
That's no problem. So, they've moved 1 inch towards Bane. Basically like that. Alright. Whoops. Alright then, for my activation, I'm going to activate the White Grin Twin here. He doesn't need to be within any inches to get his +1 to everything, so he's going to move like so. He has neurotoxin drugs, so that'll mean that he has an extra inch of movement because he is fast. Yep, so he's able to move there. He's then going to play a suspect marker, which is going to be a Joker Teeth. Like so. So there's going to be another one of those in play. And we're going to roll a die to see how long it lasts. Oh, that's not good. It lasts 1 inch, huh? Well, I would have had to put it down. I would have put it down there. So, yeah, so it's going to last for 1 round. Oh my. And that was his Inspire. He doesn't really have any other actions he can take, so that's going to be him activated. Okay, so I rolled a 3 for the Joker Teeth that were already on the board, and they've moved down to there, down where the Grin Twin is. Okay, so who are you activating now then, Glenn?
I am activating the Fug 1, who was given the kill them by Bane. And I'm going to do that real cheeky thing I said. I'm going to move him to here.
Okay, sure, no problem at all.
Because I think that means that Harley can't be placed in contact with Barsad now.
Maybe not. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to roll for the first Joker Teeth, the second one here, the one that are going to explode at the end of this round, so don't move very far. They've moved very far, 5 inches. Let's quickly measure that out. So this is where it moves to, and sadly, it is just out of range of Harley, so it explodes, doesn't score anything. And then for the Joker Teeth here, let's see, that has the 2 on it. Oops. It's got a 5, so it's going to move 5 inches towards Fig 1, which is, funnily enough, just a little bit closer to Harley there. All right. So for my activation then, I'm going to activate Captain Boomerang. He's going to move his 8 inches. Yeah. He's going to basically move into base contact with the sewer marker. We all knew it was going to happen. Then he's going to use his inspired action, or rather his manipulate action to move like so that he is in base contact with Deadshot. Okay, so unfortunately I can't take any other actions with him, just because he unfortunately, I can't attack. So you've got Barsad left. What's Barsad going to do?
You've definitely given me an option. I got to either shoot this guy or...
Actually, we have to do the Joker Teeth as well. So 1 second there. Okay, so I rolled for the teeth. They moved 3, but there really was no movement that they could have made where anyone would have been in a template. So very unfortunate there. Wasn't able to score either of those Joker Teeth. I got them out of my hand though. Yeah, this is why you try to go large. You try to go as wide as possible with as many henchmen as possible of Joker, because I just have not been able to get any of my sort of AoE cards off. Although I was a little bit reckless with them, but there it is. So you've got Barsad left to activate. You've mulled it over. Who are you going to shoot?
I think I'm going to shoot the Goathead Priest.
Okay, so Barsad's going to shoot him.
Yeah.
Sure.
Guns are too scary.
Guns are frightening. Okay, no problem. Okay, so I do have cover. Although you don't have a range on your gun, so it just means it's maximum range, and you got night vision goggles. So
you lit up by fire anyway.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. So yeah, you're trying to hit. I've got a defense of 2, So 2
I've
ups.
got +2 to hit.
Yeah,
So,
yep.
-1 or better.
Let's see what the roll is. That's
9 health.
9 health. Unfortunately, Goat-Headed Priest doesn't have that much health. He only has endurance of 5, so he's going to die. No problem. Okay, so Goat-Headed Priest is dead now. That is my second model to die in the first round. So very, very bloody first round. It's not looking too hot for the Joker, to be perfectly frank. We're going to have to really hope. Captain Boomerang has to do a lot of work, and so does Harley. But all of my chaff are starting to fall. I only have the Grin Twins, which are pretty nice, but I'm not sure. I've thrown a lot of cards out and failed them. But, you know, big deck. Still three more rounds to go. I feel pretty confident. Okay, so at the end of phase 3 then, I am going to score It Doesn't Look Fresh. So that Joker Fish was not revealed in any capacity. And then we're just going to go into phase 4. And for phase 4, Glenn, you're going to score Global Offensive because you have more friendly models with the veteran trait in play than there are enemy suspects.
That is correct.
Because my Joker Teeth explode. And then Free For All, which is have more models within 4 inches of the gaming area. That's cool. So obviously Coachella. Now he does end his activation beside the fire, which means that he will take a blood damage and he will die. But importantly, just in terms of the order of activation, at the beginning of phase 4, you take the board state as it is, and you score your cards, and then you worry about things like poison and things like damage. So Coachella will allow you to score Free For All, and then he dies, basically, from the blood, from the fire.
That is correct.
So Coachella's removed, which is good for me, right? Because it's one less guy for you. But that's it. I score nothing in phase 4. So what we're going to do is then we're going to go into round 2. We're going to off camera roll initiative and place our Audacity markers down, and we'll get back to phase 3 of round 2. All right. Okay, guys, and welcome to round 2 of the game. So we've already rolled for initiative and assigned our Audacity markers. Unfortunately, I, as the Joker player, have lost initiative. So Bane has taken it, and Bane has placed his Audacity over the Bane himself, over Barsad, over Deadshot, and Bird. I've placed my Audacity markers with Jared Leto Joker, with Harley Quinn, and with Captain Boomerang, and left the other Audacity markers sort of in the ether, ready to be placed down using Chaos Agent, one of my henchmen. So because I lost initiative, I got to decide which direction the fire marker would go. So basically I rolled two die, and it rolled, I got a 6 overall, so it moved 6 inches towards the enemy, which is the direction I pointed it towards, far away from me. So there was no cards played in phase 1 or phase 2. So we're both just holding on to our cards, and you're activating first, Bane, so who are you going to activate first?
I'm going to activate Bane.
Okay.
He's going to give the Axe Mercenary a kill them order.
Sure.
As a special action.
Yep.
And then he's going to move around this side to hit Harley, which puts him just outside of the line.
Okay, sure. That's no problem at all. So let's go into that now. Let's go into that roll. Okay, so I'm going to effort twice to knock off your 2 free efforts that you get because of your Venom dose that I know I'm aware that you have. Are you going to effort any?
I'm going to get my free efforts and an additional 1.
Sure. Okay, so you're going to be rolling 1 extra die then. Okay, so give us a roll. You're trying to hit 4s. Harley's defense is 4.
Sure.
Apart from on your strength die, which is the blue die, which is a 2+.
2+.
Okay, so go ahead.
Venom. And that is the strength die hits. These 2 hit.
Yep.
And these reroll.
Sure, no problem.
And that's another 2 that hit. Bane has combo, so that adds another 2 hits.
Sure, no problem.
So that's 6 hits and the auto damage.
Sure, that's no problem. So unfortunately you didn't get the double ones that I was looking for, but okay, that's no problem at all. So let's calculate that out. I'm pretty sure I'm knocked out though. I've got willpower of 6. So yeah, I'm out. Okay, no problem. Okay guys, so that was Harley Quinn knocked out. So unfortunately she is now KO'd. That is super sad. She's a really important model for me, but there it is. And you're going to score a card then?
Search and destroy.
Yep, and search and destroy is?
A friendly model scores at least 2 hits during an action or performed at least 2 efforts.
Sure, that's no problem at all. Next up, I'm going to activate Captain Boomerang, and he is going to throw his... I'm going to throw the bladed boomerang Because I know that Barsad has bulletproof vest, so that means that my Ellie. So I've got basically Captain Boomerang has two different types of boomerangs. He has a blood stun weapon and a double blood weapon. Normally I'm pretty loath to use those blood stuns. I don't think they're very good, but with the bulletproof vest, that will knock off a firearm die from the LE, from the explosive double blooded boomerang. And then he's got cover here because he's up. You know, I can only see half of his base. So I'll end up just rolling one die, which isn't worth it. I'm just gonna instead just chuck my bleeded one with a blood stun. And I am Captain Boomerang, so I'm going to use my special action to ricochet, which means it will also hit a model within 2 inches, which is Thug 1. So yeah, let's get into that roll now. Alright, so I missed my strength die with both these shots, and I'm going to roll 2 sets of die. The black die are against Thug 1, and the white die are against Barsad. So I'm looking for 3 ups, or 2 ups on both of these, because I get +1. So both hit for both of them. So that is 2 blood and 2 stun on both Thug 1 and on Barsad. So not great, but not awful. Alright, so that is my activation. Who are you going to activate now?
I'm going to activate Barsad and demonstrate why modern militaries don't use boomerangs.
Are you shooting at Captain Boomerang?
I'm shooting Captain Boomerang.
Sure, that's no problem at all. Let's get into that roll. Alright, so I do have cover because I'm hiding behind a wall. So yeah, if you want to give a roll then. So you're looking for 3 ups.
2 ups.
Oh, 2 ups, of course.
Him.
Yeah, Barsad.
They all hit.
Okay, so I'm going to make you re-roll the 5 with elusive, which does make you re-roll a die. Come on, 1.
It hits.
Very sad.
3 threes.
So that is how much damage?
9 blood.
9 blood. That is a dead Captain Boomerang. All right then, and so that is that's Captain Boomerang removed from the board. Very sad. And for my activation, I'm going to activate the Grin Twin in white. So first of all, I'm just double checking, make sure. Yep. So he is in Inspire range with Jared Leto. Then he's going to move like so. He's going to move up. Unfortunately, let me just double check that movement because he has 9 inches. All right, so we're doing the big plays here. I've pre-measured this. So he's going to move 9 inches because he has the drugs, which will be able to allow him to move into base contact with Bane. And then he's going to be able to play a suspect marker. Okay, so as you can see, I've placed down some Joker Teeth here and playing Bite the Dust out of my hand, which obviously is Joker Teeth. I'm going to roll for that now, and it's going to last for 6 rounds again. That's not great. Next up though, because this is still counted as a suspect marker, I'm going to play Call an Ambulance, which will allow me to put a medical bag down like so. So I have an option. I can either attack Bane, or I can get Harley Quinn back up. And I think I'm going to use a manipulate action here. Basically, this Call an Ambulance, using it as a resource, allows you to place a medical supplies marker down that you can then interact with using a manipulate action in order to get someone back up from KO. So I'm going to use it to get Harley Quinn back up from KO. I'm going to remove this. She's going to stand back up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my special action to distract Bane. So that will, because I've got the clown paint makeup on the Grin Twin in white. So I'm going to distract Bane and reduce his defense by 1.
Sure.
All right, so a flurry of actions then from the Grin Twin. Who are you going to activate now then, Glenn?
I'm going to activate Bird.
Sure.
I'm going to first of all use the military traditions to move this guy like 2 inches, whatever.
Sure.
And then I'm going to move Bird's 10 inches to get around behind Harley.
Okay.
I believe he outnumbers her.
I'm actually not sure about outnumbering whenever, because Bane is outnumbered. It's very odd.
I think you can be outnumbered by people who are also outnumbered.
Okay, let's just double check it in the rules and then we'll see. Okay, so obviously I'm knocked down, so I get a -1 to my defense. We just double checked outnumbered. I get a further -1 to my defense because it's just if you're in base contact with other models. So I've got -2 to my defense overall. I also can't effort defend because I was knocked out, so I've only got 1 willpower left. Are you going to effort attack?
I'm going to effort 2.
You played hardpoint.
I played hardpoint to try and get a venom.
Yeah.
But you cancelled it.
Yeah, so I used
Exhaustive planner.
Yeah, Jared Leto's exhaustive planner to cancel that. So, yep, that's no problem at all. So you are taking 2 efforts, but you're actually taking the...
I'm not getting it for free.
You're taking the stun damage. Sure. So if you want to roll your attacks then, you're trying to beat 3s.
Yep.
Or you're trying to beat 2s, rather.
And the strength die re-rolls.
Sure.
So that
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's... Oh, no. So that is a natural result of 2 1s. Which does mean that I immediately stand up and attack you.
It is, yes.
Okay, so...
I do get to re-roll my strength die, though.
Sure, so go ahead, then re-roll that.
That is a fail.
So that's a fail. So that's a fail. These 2 obviously are fails. And then you get 3 hits in. I'm going to roll my 2 defense now. Because I think the attack still goes off.
The attack will still go off, but Harley's down anyway.
Okay, so I actually defend 2 of those.
Yep.
But I get knocked out anyway because I've only got the 1. But before I get knocked out, I get to have a crack at Bird. So I'm going to place... Yep, it's really odd activation, so let's sort that out now. All right, so Harley is going to then make an attack against Bird. Are you making an effort defending?
I'll spend 1.
Okay, sure. So I'm attacking with my baseball bat, my good night bat. And I'm trying to beat 3s. So I get 1. Oops, that was a success as well. My strength is unfortunately a 5+ I'm trying to get.
Doesn't she have heavy on the bat?
Yeah, so that's
a 4.
Yeah, so that's a plus. It's a +1 to her base, and of course I get to reroll because I've got handy. That's a 6, so that is 2, 4, 6, 8 stun damage on Bird.
Well, you get to roll defense.
Oh yes, of course. my. Yep. So roll your 3 defense.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Bird's unconscious.
He's knocked out, and I do get the score. Joker-O-Matic, or Joker-O-Meter. All right. So obviously these Joker teeth go off now. Harley did take an additional blood, by the way, from Bird's attack because he has a knife and it deals a blood stun. So this is going to move 4 inches towards Bird. Sure, that's no problem. Yeah, if you want to.
Basically in contact with Bird.
Okay, sure. Excellent. And then I'm going to activate the Grin Twin in black. He's in the red suit here. He's going to move just a full straight 8 inches. I'm wrecking the house here. Unfortunately, I can't quite get into base contact with my own suspect marker here. Whoops. Bring that back. So he's just going to move like so. And then he's going to place down a suspect marker of his own.
You can't.
Oh.
He's within 4 inches of his own suspect mark.
Yeah, you're totally right. I'm gonna then move a little bit further back. Instead, just make sure I'm outside of 4 inches. Nope, still within. 4 inches is always a lot longer than you expect. Okay, so I'm gonna pop down a suspect marker here, which is gonna be the Joker teeth. Sure. I'm gonna place it like that. All right, so I'm gonna have to roll. Let's see how long it lasts for. I just rolled a 2. So, that's much better. And that's my activation. So, do you know what you're going to do?
Yeah, I think I'm going to punish that guy for a living.
Sure. Dead shot?
Dead shot.
Okay, no problem at all.
Clear shot it looks.
Clear shot? Oh, this map. Should have put down more buildings. We'll know next time. Okay, so let's go into that. Okay, so you're shooting the Grin Twin. Obviously, he has the trait that gives him 4 defense, but you're dead shot, so you get +1. So you're trying to beat 3s. There's no cover, no nothing. So
in range. And that is
1, 2, 3. 3 hits.
Yep.
So that is 2 blood.
6 blood.
6 blood.
And 3 stun.
Yeah, that is a dead Grin Twin. He only has endurance of 4. So
nice. He's
dead. Which will allow me, at the very least, to score your expendable that I just drew. So that was a thing. Sure. Okay.
And then I think I'll move with dead shot.
Okay.
So yeah, he will just. That's far. He'll move to about here, which I hope is 4 inches away from that.
Yeah, it looks to be. And I will remove obviously the Grin Twin, and then we're going to roll off camera for the Joker teeth. Just there's so many of them now bouncing around. Alright, so I'm going to activate Jared Leto Joker. He's my last model that I can activate. He's going to move 8 inches to here. Or rather to here. Oh my goodness. And then he's going to shoot at...
Bird.
Yeah. He's going to shoot a bird with his pink gun. And yeah, let's see. Okay, so I'm rolling 2 die. Because I moved, I lose my strength and a normal die. And bird has got 3 defense. But
2, no, effectively.
Doesn't he have a bulletproof vest?
He does actually have a bulletproof vest.
So that knocks another one off.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it anymore. Oh well.
He takes 2 blood.
He takes 2 blood because he's, yeah. Wow. So Jared Leto, by the way, costs 120 points. So far he has contributed an Inspire Bubble and now 2 blood worth of damage. Yeah, there are things that Jared Leto wants to do, and it's to close in a melee, but because of this deployment, unfortunately, I haven't been able to move through the sewer markers, and I've been trying to stay out of gun range, and it hasn't mattered. Yeah, very sad. So that's my final activation done. That's Jared Leto over. He's coming to try and save Harley Quinn, but you won't be able to reach her until next round. What are you going to activate now?
Okay, so I've just got 2 guys left to activate. Does this guy have... He's within 8 of Bane now for his activation.
Sure.
So he gets a free manipulate.
Okay.
How many suspect markers have you got?
I don't know. Oh, sorry, that's right. Actually, I got to do the Joker Teeth first, so just 1 second. All right, so I rolled for the 2 Joker Teeth. This gets removed. It exploded, achieving nothing. And then the teeth that were here moved down there towards Jared Leto. They rolled a 6 to move, so not amazing, but not the worst thing in the world either. Unfortunately, I just haven't been able to get much done with the teeth. Just having such a smaller crew, it's really tilted me, I think, in terms of placement of my Joker Teeth. Okay, so who are you going to activate then?
I am going to activate this guy.
Sure. Okay.
Do you only have 2 suspect markers in play?
I think so. I've got the Joker Fish. I've got the Joker Fish here.
This one.
And I've got this one here in the middle.
Okay, well that really upsets what I need to do.
Sure.
I'm going to go to here and remove this.
Awesome.
Hopefully not being on fire. He's not on fire. He's just out.
That's great, because that will actually reveal for me so long it's been a gas. So I'll score that card. Basically now you have to choose another one of your suspect markers, or one of your models, and place one of your own suspect markers down in contact with it.
Okay.
So who do you choose?
Do you go in contact with one of my models?
Yeah.
I'll place it in contact with Bane.
Okay, sure.
And then I will also play Global Offensive, which scores turn 4.
All right, and you just have Thug 1 now left to activate. So
I'm just going to run him over. He can't reach the Grin Twin, but he'll get close.
Okay. Sure, so he jumps down there, no problem at all. And then
I play Cyber Attack.
Right.
I'm going to choose this one. It won't be there, but there's also this one here.
Sure.
Poison Fish. I roll D3 and add 2.
Can you choose enemy suspect markers?
They have to be enemy suspect markers.
Okay, so explain what the card is.
Okay, so Cyber Attack requires me to target up to 2 enemy suspects.
Yeah.
I roll D3 plus 2 and put a number counter with a value equal to the roll on each suspect, and every turn it counts down to 1 if it hits 0 and either of them are still in play.
Okay.
Then I score.
Sure. Okay, so we'll roll for that off screen. We'll come back to that with the at the end of the phase. Okay, and I'm just gonna roll for my Joker Teeth. I just rolled a 2. So it's going to move 2 inches then up towards Thug 1. So it'll get a little bit closer to that scrum, but it will not go off during this activation. All right, and is there any card at the end of phase 3 that will score for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Global Offensive.
So global offensive scores? Sure, that's no problem at all. And that's for having more veterans than enemy suspect markers in play. Okay, and then for... Are you sure, actually? Because I forgot about the Joker Teeth went down.
You've got 2, I've got 3.
You've got 2. Okay, sure, no problem. And then for me, there's nothing in phase 3 that will score. As well as that, there's nothing in phase 4 that will score, but I believe you've got 2 cards that score during phase 4.
Just, I believe, 1 Global Offensive.
Sure, no problem at all. Okay, then we're going to go into round 3. I have not a lot of models, so I'm hoping to win initiative at least. Okay, so we're going to roll initiative here. I get +2 to this roll, just because my pass markers. Oh no, I'm on 4. You're on 4.
You win a tie.
I win a tie. That's awesome. And during my activation then, during phase 1, I'm going to play Die Hard. Basically, I have to choose one of my models that is still alive at the end of the round. And more than that, more than still alive, is not KO'd. So I'm going to pick the Grin Twin. The only model that I can choose that isn't Harley Quinn. And are you playing a card during phase 1?
I'm playing Domination.
Domination?
Yeah. I put a
Event marker down?
event marker in contact with Harley.
Sure, no problem at all. So if you want to take maybe this Wayne marker here, there's so many event markers going on with this one. You know what'd be really nice? If Night Model could release some sort of like pack that had all of the tokens, and I'd buy one of those. I think I'd buy a second one of those to get even more markers.
Useful, yeah.
It would be really useful, yeah. Maybe if they included the generic deck or the Joker and Batman deck within it, some sort of starter box perhaps. Okay, but anyway.
You want to say that in Spanish as well?
Okay, so yes, so basically at the end of this phase, or at this round rather, at the end of round 3, if you have more people in 4 inches of that, you will score the card. If I have more people in 4 inches of that, you won't score the card, and you can take a manipulate action to move it, basically. So that's a really nice card. That's no problem at all. So I'm going to place down my Audacity markers, basically. The reason why we're doing this on camera is because I'm going to choose Jared Leto. I'm going to choose my other one at Harley Quinn and the other one at the Grin Twin. So you probably want to actually have a think about your Audacity markers, right? So okay, so we're gonna come back then for phase 3, and we'll go over your Audacity markers. Okay, sorry, and so before we actually go into that, before you place down your Audacity, I should have done this activation before, but I'm actually going to play Showtime as well, and I'm going to play that on the Joker. So I'm just going to have to measure that out. There's a whole host of measurements, but basically I'm going to put a bunch of your suspect markers, everything within 18 inches in base contact with Jared Leto, and then roll a d3 plus 2, and by the end of that d3 plus 2 activations, I will then score this card if I'm still in base contact with that marker.
Okay,
so I'm just going to roll here. And it is 1d3 plus 2, so that is 3. And then that's going to be this suspect marker, this suspect marker, and this suspect marker are all going to move into base contact with Joker. And it's going to be for 3 activations. They have to remain in contact with him. That's a really good roll for me. All right, so during the recount phase of the last round, we both rolled to see who got up. And both Bird woke up and Harley Quinn woke up as well. So I'm not going into this complete blind. She's going to stand up, basically, and because she's got acrobatics, suffer no minuses to that. She's going to stand up and beat up Bane, because he's really the only person who can stop Jared Leto from scoring. So let's go into that roll now.
Sure.
Okay, so I was going to stand up and bop Bane with my baseball bat. But Bane basically he would have -2 to his defense. Unfortunately, I can't knock him out though. The only thing I'm trying to do is basically prevent him from killing Joker and score. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to shoot him with my gun, with my love-hate gun, which is a 2 blood, rate of fire 2, deals double blood damage, and it has a light. So importantly,
light.
Yeah. Do you know what though? I just realized. If I do that, I actually lose 2 because I would have moved
to stand up.
I would have moved to stand up. So instead, I will actually just hit him with my baseball bat and rethink and okay, so are you going to effort defense?
I'm going to effort 3.
Okay, so that means that my attack of 4 goes down to 1, and I still roll my strength die. I've got handy and heavy. Okay, so I do hit with my strength. I'm going to re-roll my minus. I'm trying to get 2 up on this. So I do hit, so I deal 4 stun damage basically to Bane.
So Bane is defense 3.
Yep. He's defense 2.
3.
Oh, 3.
Because it's -1.
Yes, of course.
He's going to roll his 3 defense.
Here you go.
He gets +1 to this.
Sure, go ahead, roll. You're trying to just get 1 success. So you got the 1 success, although pretty bad roll, I think.
Pretty bad roll.
Yeah, but you get the 1 defense, so you just take 2 stun damage. That's
Which
okay.
allows me to score reinforce on Bird's card.
Okay, sure, no problem. Okay. Birds, of course, being that you have to make
a friendly model that receives an attack within 4 inches of a model with a veteran trait.
Sure.
Bird, suffers only 2 damage from that attack.
That's no problem. Okay, and then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a goad action on Bane to try and force him to move 8 inches away. So I'm going to roll a willpower check.
3.
It's an opposed 1. So I can't effort, unfortunately. So, but I do get to choose what die is removed from this roll. So let me just.
It's against Bane's willpower. Yes?
Yeah, it is a goad. Yeah, let me just double check that. Okay, so you have a willpower of 8. 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's so sad. So I would choose these 2, and unfortunately I don't beat it. So you're not forced to move 4 inches away. That's super sad. So yeah, you get to activate Bane now if you want. Now, 1 second though, we gotta move these Joker teeth. They will move closer. So let's see how far they go. So I'm just gonna roll now. And that is 5 inches right into the middle. So let's see who they hit. All right, so they move 5 inches, which means they'll hit everyone basically there except for Bird.
Yep.
Sure. So they explode. I will score that card then, and everybody there suffers a blood. All right, so that's Harley's activation over. Who are you going to activate?
I'm going to activate Fug 1.
Sure. So he's the one there hidden.
Yep, he's going to move behind Grin Twin. So that he is flanking with Bane.
Okay.
And he's going to effort and attack.
He's going to effort and attack the Grin Twin?
He also has a kill them marker from Bane, so he's rolling a lot of dice here.
Okay, so how many kill them markers has he got?
He's got 2.
Okay, he's got 2 plus 2 attack. Okay, sure, no problem at all. All right, so you're going to stab me with your knife. I'm going to effort 3 times to knock off 3 from your dice pool.
I'll effort twice, most I can do.
Sure, and you already had 2 attack markers.
I do, so that's 4 attack dice and a strength die.
Okay, then give a roll. So you're trying to beat 2s. Unfortunately, my twin has died.
And that goes through. These all go through.
Sure. So that is that's 4, 5 blood that you're dealing right now.
5 blood. Yep.
Sure. Let's try and So
4 blood.
4 blood. Does that kill Grin Twin? Does he have?
Does.
It does. It just about does. Oh, that is so sad.
I score search and destroy.
Sure. No problem at all. And unfortunately, that means that Die Hard cannot be scored. I'm going to discard that, and it also means that I can't score any other cards. Sure, that's no problem at all. All right, so that is the last of the Grin Twins killed. I have only Jared Leto and Harley Quinn who are alive, and only Jared Leto left to activate. So I'm just going to spend a pass marker here, and try and get through my last activation. So what is it you're going to do?
I am going to activate Bird.
Sure.
He's going to get up and he's going to hit Harley Quinn with a knife.
Okay, sure. Sure, we'll go into that roll now. Okay, so Bird's going to stab at Harley Quinn. I'm going to effort 0 times because I'm all out of efforts. I've got no willpower left. Are you going to effort to attack Harley?
I can't. I just got up from unconscious.
Sure, no problem at all. So go ahead then, give us a roll. Your base stats, you're trying to beat 3s because I'm outnumbered.
4 on strength. And that 1 hit, strength goes through though.
Okay, sure. And then I'm going to roll my defense. And I'm trying to be 3, so I block your 1 hit. So you do deal blood stun, is it, with a knife?
Yep, which is enough to put her down.
Yeah, that knocks Harley down. Sure, no problem at all.
Yeah.
All right. So with that then, activation, I will then score the Showtime card, which is pretty good. I'll pop that in my pile of spent cards. I'm going to move forward with Jared Leto, and he's slow, but he is a bit of a powerhouse in this game, so I'm going to move forward. Unfortunately, I can't get into melee with Bane, but I can't get a melee with Bird. I'm going to rush forward to Harley Quinn's defense. I know this leaves me open to dead shot, but, you know, at this stage, really, what can be done? Except to go down swinging, you know, with his true love, Harley. I'm going to bop into Bane with my Joker cane. Into Bird with my Joker cane. So let's go into that now. So actually, rather than attacking, I just remembered what my plan was. I'm going to place this suspect marker down. That will be played within 4 inches of Bird, so that will allow me to score.
That's my teddy bear.
Okay, well, first, hold on.
Yeah.
First of all, this is going to let me score, let them in on the joke. And as this scores, you're going to have to discard a card, so it might not be your teddy bear. So let's see which cards gets discarded first. All right, so I'm going to draw one of your cards then to discard at random, and it is free for all. All right, and then here are my 3, so just pick one. Yep, anyone.
So long it's been a gas.
So long it's been a gas, that will be discarded for me. Sure, that's no problem at all. So that means then that I was not able to force you to discard your Osito. I'm actually not sure about the order of activation on that. I'm not sure whether or not the discard happens first, but to be perfectly frank, I have Jared Leto and Harley Quinn left alive, and Harley Quinn's currently knocked out, so I'm going to take that as a gimme, that there is an opportunity there for me to stop that. So you're going to score, or you're going to put Osito into play then?
Yep.
So what that means then is that this suspect marker, my suspect marker, will then transform into a teddy bear.
Yes.
That basically, how does it?
Bane gets +1 to attack you if you're in contact with that teddy bear.
Okay.
I believe, and he gets +1 to hit. Let's see.
Yep.
Right, if an enemy model is carrying the aceto...
They have to be carrying it, so is it if they're in base contact with it?
Yeah, you make a move action to... if you make a move action, you can pick it up.
Okay, sure. So he can't choose to pick it up now because he's
Yeah.
already played his manipulate. Okay, sure. That's no problem at all. And then if that goes off, basically, if that's in your contact with one of your models by the end of the round, you score it for 3 points. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, sure. No problem. Okay. So that's your activation now. Do you want to have a moment to think about who you're going to activate?
Yes.
Sure, no problem at all. All right, so just in terms of Aceto, actually, it lasts until the end of the game, not until the end of the round, sure. And then your cyber attack counts down as well because the Joker fish was never removed, so it counts down as well. You score that. So it is your activation. Who are you going to activate?
I think I'm just gonna beat on the Joker with Ian.
Okay, so Bean's going to move into base contact with the Joker and attack him. So go ahead then. Make your movement. And then because unfortunately that suspect marker there is an Aceto marker, basically your Bean is getting a +1.
+1 to attack, yeah. Because he was moving, he can pick it up.
Sure, no problem. Okay. All right, so you're going to attack Jared Leto. Unfortunately, I only have defensive 3 because I moved into base contact with Bird. Because for some reason, I was just under the impression that I was inspiring myself. I just thought that I'd inspire, so I was going to place a free suspect marker and attack whenever I activated him, but I didn't. I just moved into base contact and then placed the suspect marker, so now I'm outnumbered. So terrible play on my part. But in any case, I'm going to have it 3 times, basically, because Bean gets rerolls, and even though he's only dealing stun damage, he still gets to reroll those, he gets bonuses to those, so yeah. So I'm efforting 3 times. Are you going to effort in your attack?
Yeah, I'm going to have twice. I just
Okay, sure.
I have the stun to do so.
Okay, sure. So give us a roll then. You're trying to beat 3s, because I want a defense 3
On everything?
Yep. So that is 1. Wow.
And this is a reroll?
Yep, sure.
Oh, that's a mess.
Wow, though. The thing is, if I wasn't outnumbered, right, that would be half the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you've got combo as well. So
Yeah.
what's the end result?
So
then?
that's 6 and an auto.
Okay. So that is yeah. Okay. And I don't know if I can. So I'm trying to be 4s.
5.
5. Wow. Okay. Well, I don't manage to defend any of them. So that is
14.
14. So I'm knocked down. Which means that actually, I don't know if there's going to be a round 4. Okay. Well, let's clean up the table. Okay, so that is Jared Leto knocked out to join Harley in sweet blissful sleep. That actually could mean that the game could be over at round 3 because if both of those don't recover, they don't wake up during recovery phase, that means that the game will end and we'll go into counting the scores. So who are you going to activate then? You've got free reign.
I'm going to activate Deadshot.
Sure.
He has his pistols.
Mm-hmm.
He's out of range and Joker has cover. So that's -2, I believe.
Sure, okay, so let's get into the dice pool now. All right, so he does have cover, and you're shooting out of your short range. So you're taking off 2 dice to your roll. You do have a special, though, which gives you a +1.
I don't, but I'm going to activate a $1 million shot to get it.
Okay, so you're going to use the strength die, or rather spend the resource on that gives you +1 to your rate of fire?
Yeah, I can't use rapid fire because I didn't give him an audacity.
Sure, no problem. Okay, well, roll in. I've got -1 to my defense here because I'm KO'd.
So 2 pluses.
Yep. 2 plus,
And
that is how much blood?
that's 4 hits. They deal 1 blood, 1 stun, but Joker's unconscious, so...
They all deal an additional blood damage,
yes,
basically.
that's 8 blood.
Okay, 8 blood, and that is just enough, I believe, to kill him. Joker has an endurance of 8, so yep, he's killed. Oh no, Jared Leto. Very sad. Okay, that will activate the True Love on Harley Quinn, if it matters. We'll see.
Okay, so I'm also going to activate this guy. I'm going to move him up to Harley Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's going to use his hatchet.
Okay, he's going to try and finish the job.
Yep.
Let's get into that roll. Okay, so you're going to come up with the hatchet. I unfortunately cannot effort. I'm also knocked out, so I get -1 to my defense. And I also am outnumbered, so I get -1 to my defense. Are you going to effort your attack?
I'm going full effort.
Okay,
so finish with stats.
So you're going to effort 3 times. You've also got +2 attack because of the kill them markers that Bean's been throwing out since the beginning of the game. Okay, so that's an additional 5 dice that you're rolling on top of your attack of 3.
That's correct.
You're trying to beat 2s, and you've got a strength die.
And a handy weapon.
And a handy weapon. So, yeah, you're throwing everything you got at me. Go ahead, roll. Let's see.
And that is, I need 3s or 2s, or doesn't really matter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. The strength die goes through automatically.
Okay.
It hits.
And the one misses, so reroll.
One. Oh, yes, of course, I reroll.
You've got handy? How can you miss that? That's a hit. I'm going to roll my paltry 2 defense. I actually miss one of those. So I knock off one of the attacks, obviously the blue being the strength die. So that is how much blood per hit?
3, because she's unconscious.
Of course. Because it deals 2 and then she's unconscious. Yes. So that's that Harley Quinn. Okay, let me just give you this idea. Right, Harley Quinn has 7 endurance. So I think this amount of blood damage, or however amounts there, she's dead. What that means then is that actually the game ends. So Harley's dead. Very sad. Wow. So she's dead. And that means then we actually count the score. So it doesn't automatically end. I don't automatically lose. Although I think you can kind of tell.
Does it go to recount?
I think it might immediately end. I think it just immediately straight up ends. It doesn't matter. You're not scoring any more cards, Glenn, right? We're going to count it up.
Score domination.
Okay, you score domination and you score Aceto as well because it gets to the end of the round. There's nothing in Phase 4 that I would score anyway. Is there any cards in Phase 4 that you would score?
As I said, domination.
Domination. Okay, sure. Yeah, you score domination. I'll give you that one. I'll give you that considering I have no more bodies on the board. Okay, let's get into the roll now then. And we'll see. There's always a chance. I did score a few cards, so let's see how it goes. Okay then, so here is my scored pile. This is the Joker scored pile. So I've got 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 15, 16, 17. Wow, I think that's like the lowest score I've ever gotten on Joker. Outside of like maybe the first couple of games I played like last year. So let's see how many the Soldier Fortune get, presumably more. This is 3, 6, 8, 10, 13, 16, 18, 20, 23, and 25. So not the biggest amount of score. Yeah. Then again, if you remember, actually we missed a round. Yeah. So that sort of makes sense, right? That makes sense. But wow, okay, so pretty much.
It also shows that you don't actually score the most by like wiping the other part.
Well, you scored quite a bit more.
It does let me reduce your ability to score.
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, pretty sad result for Joker there, obviously. Look, okay, so here's the thing. Okay, you've probably never heard this before, but I am going to for a second defend Jared Leto. Jared Leto's Joker. I know that's very rare on the internet, but he's actually not that bad. He's 120 rep. He is a pretty good model, I think. He's an okay wee model. But he's 120 rep. And he's very aggressive. He does a lot of damage. He's got a really good beat stick, right? But he's very slow. And he also enables the Grin Twins. And the Grin Twins are awesome. Now, my list consisted of some kind of janky sort of models. I had the Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad, who is really strong. I took her because she was thematic, right? To Jared Leto. I thought that she fit. And then I took the Captain Boomerang because I thought he was thematic. Captain Boomerang's 48 rep. For his cost, I probably could have taken two other henchmen. And then I took the goat-headed priest. The goat-headed priest, who's 35 reputation for a defense 2 model. Not worth it, I don't think. I don't think he's probably one of the weakest of the cosplayers. He's just not strong at all. And for him, I could have had another, maybe 2 models, maybe 1.5, 1.7 models. And so with that, I would have had 4 more bodies. And actually 4 more bodies would have done it because in this game, I had a really bruiser-oriented. I wanted to close in and get into melee with your guys as fast as possible. I wanted to put the hurt on them. I wanted to throw out Joker teeth all around them. Unfortunately, the sewers were placed in such a way that I was not able to do so. The first sewer, the closest sewer to me was up here. It was really awkward to get to. The other sewer was here, and the only person who could get through it was Captain Boomerang to get into your backline. Because if you recall, the deployment was such that only the free agents were able to move within 4 inches of that marker, which is where that sewer marker is. So I wasn't able to actually teleport across the map. With that, I think my fate was sealed. Additionally, you had gone so hard in your assault rifles. You've gone for Barsad and for Deadshot, and they're amazing. You'd also given Barsad, I believe,
Night vision goggles.
night vision goggles, right? And so that meant it didn't matter. You were always shooting me without the night penalty.
Barsad cost more than half my team's like funding.
Yeah.
He's an $800 model at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was sort of aware of this. I was trying to get Harley Quinn up. Harley Quinn's super fast. That the Suicide Squad version of her has the voices, so she can move super fast. But I just had a really hard time getting close. So if this had been a different board, right? This is a very open, very sort of sparsely populated board. Lots of cover, but not a lot of line of sight breakers. It's very open middle, because it's kind of like a wasteland, right? That's really suited you because you had your two assault rifle guys who could just stand Deadshot and Barsat and just open fire. You had open season basically.
Yeah.
If you can imagine this map, but with maybe two large structures, maybe a building here and a building there, there would have had to be a lot more movement from you to get in close with them, or to get line of sight.
And then of course there was, if you remember that last time that I played Soldiers of Fortune, Barsad went down and immediately before you could do anything.
But that's the nature of playing against the Batman crew though. This is probably the worst showing I've seen of a Joker list. In fairness to me, though, this validates a lot of the stuff that I say in the Joker Crew guide that I recently released. So there's a link to that on the screen. And I go into the need for larger henchman-heavy kind of crews. I really do think that that's the case. I think you can play sort of more specialized Joker crews. I just think that the every single model in your list needs to do something. With the list that I brought it really based on theme, and just everything sort of worked against me. And I sort of misplayed a few times. I misplayed a few times with Jared Leto there. I misplayed earlier on in the game. I think I should have just been aggressively pushing up. I think I maybe should have just teleported more people over there. And I think I should have played more with the Joker teeth. I threw out a lot of Joker teeth and didn't really pay them any mind because I'm so used to having like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 activations, and just blowing them up. I only had like 5 activations, right? Because I was losing a model every other activation, it felt like. What do you think about in terms of your Soldiers of Fortune list? You brought this list before.
I brought a similar list. The inclusion of Deadshot. The going in heavy on Barsad for like the night vision. I feel that I played maybe not well. Like I killed a lot of guys and I was pretty effective there, but I feel that I probably should have been playing my objective card stronger. I definitely know I ignored a lot of those ones that are about seizing ground to just gallop up, and I probably could have scored 7 points or so.
Well, the thing is, right, whenever you were like knocking out one of my models with every other activation, it's hard not to.
It's hard not to think of it like a war game, to play it like it's Necromunda or something. But I guess like the board wipe, it has its advantages, but the only real benefit of like killing models is if you can score cards off it or to stop your opponent from having the ability to score cards. It's not the purpose of the game, although there it did favour me. I think there's a lot of games that you could see played where you could push in and you could kill a lot of people and you could board wipe and lose easily.
I've played games like that.
Around doing stuff.
I've won plenty of games.
Especially against GCPD.
Well, against certain crews. But look, so at the end of the day, this is a pretty sorry showing from Jared Leto. He's 120 rep. He's very expensive, which means that he needs to do stuff. I wasn't able to get him to do stuff. I think that a lot of that was on me. I think I moved him to up the side of the board. I think there's better lists for him as well that I will bring in the future. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this battle rep, if you enjoyed watching me get slaughtered, we've got plenty more. You should see a playlist link on the video. So just click into those and enjoy, really. I'm really glad that you were here to join us with this. So if you did enjoy the content, please just like and subscribe. And I would really, really appreciate that. Okay, so thanks everyone, and have a good evening.